us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Has been so good. It's been much better than I thought it would. But lately, I get the feeling something ain't right. Secrets from me, bring them to the light. Hey, hey, hey. Together we have something very special. Most other people don't.
Welcome, everybody. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuning to Jackie's Groove on the Intertalk Radio Network. Hey, everybody, it's Monday, June 27th. It's a hot day here in Southern California, but it's going to get even hotter as I bring into my studio today a musical brother, actually a musical hero that I've known for 38 years, not to date us. This man has been the thumbprint in the realm of drumming. He has motivated, he has inspired multitudes of drummers, young and old, throughout his career. He joined this East Bay funky group called the Tower of Power back in, I believe it was July 23rd, 1970 was his birth date with Tower of Power. What can you say about this man that hasn't been said across the world, hasn't been in print? Modern Drummer Magazine as one of the writers for years. But with that said, I'm going to let you guys all talk to him and listen to him. So I want you guys do me a favor with open arms and open ears. Please welcome my musical brother, Mr. John David Garibaldi. John David Garibaldi, welcome, my brother.
Jack, how are you, man?
Man, you know what? It's a beautiful day, brother. It's even better now that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. This is cool.
Yeah, man. You know what? This is all about, Jackie's Groove, keeping it real and kind of bringing all the listeners behind the velvet rope and allow them to walk in the shoes of David Garibaldi, if not for a couple hours. And this couple hours is going to blow by at rocket speed, and we're going to do the best we can. I'm sure you've done a multitude of interviews. I know you have. It's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be more like you and I sitting in the backyard with a glass of iced tea and maybe a cigar and just kind of like shooting the you-know-what. So let's start out by just kind of getting down to the brass tacks. So you were born in 1946. What month and what day, brother?
November 4th.
November 4th is when and you're born and raised in the state of?
San Francisco Bay Area. I was born in Oakland and grew up in Pleasanton, California, over in the East Bay.
Know it well. And you're still up in that area right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Still there. I live in Livermore, California, which is about 5 miles away from where I grew up.
Craziness. I mean, can you believe, David, if you think about this, in 2 more years, you guys are celebrating 50 years as a conducive band?
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's just amazing longevity itself. I got to tell you, my friend, you were missed horribly. The end of last year, first part of this year, as you recovered from your ailment, your back. I mean, you definitely had a capable man there, Herman Matthews, that was filling your drum throat. But let's face it, there's nobody like DG behind the drums with Tower of Power.
Well, you're very nice, man. I mean, it was a drag not being there, but it was something that I had to do. So,
hey,
whatever.
Nobody knows health more than I do, brother boy. So, so let's praise God that we're here to talk about it, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about some. Let's talk about one of your first bands called Reality Sandwich. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, the Reality Sandwich. That was I had just gotten out of the military, and actually I was a sub in that band. Mike Clark and I were subs.
Really?
Because the regular drummer had hurt himself, some kind of thing. I had just gotten out of service and started working in the Bay Area, and somehow, and I can't even remember how I met those guys, but they were playing at a place called the On Broadway in downtown Oakland on Jack London Square, and it was a place where there was a lot of clubs and a lot of music and all that, and so that's where I met Mike, and eventually the Tower guys, Mick Gillette and Skip Mesquite, they used to come and sit in with us, play, hang out. And one day they came into the club and to play, and Mick said, "We're thinking about possibly changing our drummer. Would you be interested in coming to check it out?" And so I was very hungry for gigs because I was just coming back from the military. So I went over to where they were playing. It was at Keystone Corner in San Francisco, and a small little music club there in North Beach, very famous at the time. And they were something, man. They had a sound even then. I mean, they were playing original songs plus real obscure cover songs, and they had something going on that you could definitely detect. Then it wasn't just a little nightclub band. I mean, they had a vibe already.
Your Keystone Corner was like our Golden Bear down here in Huntington Beach. I'm sure you remember that wonderful club.
Yeah, we played there too. When we started touring and stuff. Yeah, it was very similar.
Do you remember the day? In fact, I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was December 17th, 1979, when I stepped on stage with you guys for the first time as a kid, and I was scared to death. And we're sitting right next to I think it was Red. Was Red Miller? That was his last name?
Red, yeah. He was our truck driver. And
right. It was amazing. I had the opportunity to play with you, Can't You See, which is one of my favorite tunes of this day, and also Squib Cakes. And that's when I knew that Tower of Power was amazing. I knew it before, but it stuck with me all these years, man. Hey, you know what? It's when I think about this, just your longevity. In fact, when you said about drummer, that was the drummer at that time that we talked about, Jack Castillo?
He was the original Tower drummer because, Emilio and Rocco, guitar player Jody Lopez, and Jack, Emilio's brother, that was the band. They were the original. They started playing together when they were like 15 years old. Rocco and Emilio, they've been, they're celebrating 50 years now.
Yeah, man. Under the name of the Motowns originally, if I stand corrected.
Well, that was the Motowns was right before Tower of Power.
Right. That
name, but they were the Gotham City Crime Fighters. They were like Black Orpheus. They were the Extension File. They had all these names that they had, in their evolution. But the Motowns was when they had horns, and then changed it to Tower of Power.
It's really, really cool. I was blessed also to do a beautiful video for the oral history of the NAMM of NAMM, and I just watched yours yesterday, and I watched Mimi's yesterday also, and it's nice to be in that company just to kind of hear that 4 minutes of how it all started, and again too, for those people out there, obviously you're listening to the show because of David Garibaldi, and for the younger set out there, you've got to go on and you've got to patronize this band. You've got to go onto YouTube and type in Tower of Power and be prepared to get amazed. I mean, a lot of people don't realize the fact that these bunch of guys were an inspiration for the multitude of players, including one of my dearest friends, Paul Parker, who was a huge fan of Prince. And when I finally took him to the first Tower of Power concert, he realized the fact that that's where a lot of his motivation, Prince, came from also. Our brother gone too early. And also, David, I want to take a couple seconds to send a blessing up to our departed brother, Mr. Mick Gillette, we lost recently. So God bless him.
Yeah, that was, sad. Mick was a real talented guy, pretty amazing talent, trumpet, trombone, all the brass instruments. But with us, trumpet and trombone, and played both with equal ability and ease. Pretty amazing guy.
Double-fisted, man. I was amazed at how he would play trumpet with one hand and pull up the bone on the other hand, and just gave that funky sound. But, the bottom of Tower Power horns came from Doc. I mean, that Selmer, I guess it was called one of the bad boys. I mean, Mimi was talking about the story when Doc joined the band, forgot to tell actually joined rehearsal and forgot to tell the band that he was coming in and crawling through that window at Mimi's dad's garage. And, I mean, great stories all the way around. So you guys definitely get a chance to check that out. And, David, we're going to be going through 8 segments of 12 minutes each. Again, they're going to blow by real quick. So if I interrupt you at all, forgive me. I have this little red light that flashes on my computer. Let me know that we're heading out.
What you got to do, man?
Hey, man, we got to promote. There's so much more to get involved. I want to talk about your before Tower Power. I want to talk about which we just did, but let's talk about the luminaries that you worked with after or during that time with Tower, such as Gino Vanelli and Denise Williams and Jermaine Jackson, and also, too, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a small stint with Mr. Paul Anka also.
I didn't do Paul Anka.
Oh, I thought you did.
For him.
Okay, you auditioned for him. Okay, I'll tell you how I found out about that. So
I auditioned for him, but they were real nice to me. I just, I didn't get the gig, but.
See, now I thought you did because a dear friend of mine, Tom Rohde, another gentleman who we've lost too young, who was the percussionist with him at that time, I thought he said that he was working with you. So with that said, David, we'll pick it up on this next segment. We've got 19 seconds rolling out here. So everybody, don't go anywhere. I'm blessed and I'm proud and I'm privileged to be hanging out here with the great David Garibaldi from Tower Power. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove on the Intertalk Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
What can you say about a song called Squib Cakes that hasn't been said across the world? Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Jackie Bertoni and Jackie's Groove. That song, Squib Cakes, has always been an amazing tune to me. I mean, the Tower Power horn sections, Greg Adams on that flugelhorn solo coming up that we just cut off on, Mick Gillette, Stephen, the Funky Dr. Kupka, at that time, Lenny Pickett, Emilio Castillo, Bruce Conte, Francis Rocco Prestia on bass, Chester Thompson on keyboards, and the gentleman I have online, I think at the time right there too, was either Herbert Tubbs or maybe even Lenny Williams during that time. We'll find out. But the person that was laying the groove down on the sticks is my in-studio guest. Please, everybody, welcome back with open arms and open ears, Mr. David Garibaldi. David, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
You still love playing that song?
Well, we haven't played it in a long, long time, so we'll probably bring it out, again. I mean, we play songs for a while, and then everybody gets tired, and then so we put it away, and then we bring it back out, go play something else. I mean, it one of those things. We haven't played it in a while.
It's a shame, man, because it just kind of gives everybody a nice little workout, and I just remember CT playing the bass pedals is always such a nice groove all the way around, and then of course the gentleman that's on keyboards right now, Roger Smith, who's absolutely amazing, and
he's a monster. We just get tired of stuff, so we change it up, and kind of that's how it goes,
Hey man, I love the new brother that's fronting you guys, Marcus Scott.
Yeah, Marcus is
ridiculous.
Perfect,
yeah. I mean, he's got a vibe of almost every singer that's come through that band. At such a young age.
Pretty amazing guy. He can impersonate singers, all kinds. He's really great. We're glad that he's around. Very blessed to have him.
So now you guys are, I'm assuming right at the time, a little bit of a break. You guys are getting ready to head off to Europe again. Correct me if I'm wrong?
No, we're going to Japan on 4th of July. It's next weekend.
Bottom line?
No, the Tokyo Blue Note.
Oh, Blue Note. Very, very cool. I've just got to get my notes here and my backstory is kind of corrected. Hey, David, question for you.
Yes, sir.
And getting back in the swing of things, getting back into playing and getting back behind that drum throne again, were you able to jump right back into it with the same vigor you had before you walked out, or even more?
Well, it just sort of felt like I never left when I came back. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Honestly, I just sort of jumped right back in, you know. When I left to go get my health issues taken care of, my goal was to get back as soon as I was able. So that was my focus, you know. So I practiced, every day and like usual, of course. But I was ready when I got back.
You got to be. You know who was ready for you to come back also? A gentleman is a luminary in the industry also. Just inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in April. He's online right now. He wants to say hi to you. So, Danny Serafin, please say hi to David Garibaldi.
Danny?
Hey, David. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm on the golf course, so I can't talk too long, but I wanted to say hi to you. Man, I also wanted to give you some good news.
Uh-oh.
No, it's really good news, and I think you're going to be really happy. Carmine, Liberty, and Dom Famularo, we've decided to nominate you for the president of VITA.
Which is?
What do you think? Bald Italian Drummers of America. So we want you to be our number one guy, the kind of the poster boy, because you made it back from the hip surgery, and did they replace anything else besides the hips?
No. Keep your factory parts. No, that's all I did. That's funny.
Good. Oh, hey, David, how are you, brother?
I'm well,
got
man.
tons of
Thank
respect
you.
and love for you, man. And
likewise.
you're back.
Everything's good. How's your golf game going?
I'm a better drummer. I'm a much better drummer. I wish. I have fun with it, and it's great. And if I was working more like you, I wouldn't be playing as much golf. I can tell you that.
That's good. Yeah. Well,
I just wanted to say a quick hi, brother, and tell you I love you, man. And when are you going to be at the Canyon Club or in my area?
We're doing the Hollywood Bowl with Gladys Knight, I think, in August.
Well, if I'm around, I'd love to come and catch the show. Yeah, but
you're welcome
anyway,
anytime, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Good, continued success, and I'm glad you're back playing again. And I'm sure Tower's glad you're back because you're a one-of-a-kind dude. And, you're really
thank you, brother. I appreciate
playing.
it, man.
And as a friend, man, we've been friends a long time, and we don't see enough of each other, but we're always friends, and that's a good thing. So
I appreciate it, brother.
Jackie, you take care, brother.
Thanks, brother boy.
Right.
I appreciate the call in, man.
Sure. All right, David,
all
take
the
care.
best, man. See you, Danny. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye, brother.
Yeah, David, my whole vibe here on Jackie's Groove is that, there's just because you are in the position you are, there's a lot of amazing drummers and musicians out there that are huge fans of yours also. So I hope you didn't mind that little surprise there.
No, that's great. Now I'm in the Bald Italians Club. I'm not bald yet, but
you're the only one that's got hair left, man. I mean, it's like
I have a little left, but it's out there, man.
I mean, I used to. I was voted in my senior class with the best fro, and God had a different plan for that. He needed hair somewhere else, man. I got to tell you, and that hair sailed a long time ago. So you still got it. So be proud, brother. Be proud.
Yeah, well, I am.
Hey, man, you know what I love out there? I want the young guys out there, or even the old guys out there. It's an older video DVD called The Tower of Groove. You guys need to pick that up. It's got some amazing anecdotes, great stories. Mike Spiro on percussion, and Jesus Diaz and Benny Redfield on bass. Pick it up, man. It's an amazing accumulation of David's techniques and some really cool and obscure songs also. So kind of a little bit of promotion there for you, brother boy. So,
well, thanks.
With that said, coming up to Japan, you guys going to be gone for how long?
This trip is just 8 days, something like that. Not a long one.
Right.
We go different. we go every year. We do different stuff there, Been going for a long time. Great place. So, we'll just be doing that.
And the crowd's still embracing you like crazy in Japan?
Yeah. Tokyo Blue Note, it's one of my favorite places to play anywhere. It's just a fabulous place.
How big of a venue is that? Seating-wise?
It's just I don't know what the capacity is. It's a pretty big place, and they pack it out. We do 10 or 12 shows, and every show is packed.
It's amazing. We're going to talk more about the other venues and other cities you'd like to visit when we come back on the third segment here with my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi. And I want to go ahead and field some emails also. So go ahead and send them to interviews@jackiesgroove.com. Any questions for Mr. Garibaldi, I'll bring it to him. So with that said, you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to come up on segment number 3 on Jackie's Groove. This is Jackie Bertoni. I'm proud to have in my studio online Mr. David Garibaldi, the iconic drummer from the legendary R&B group Tower of Power. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page, mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Get you high.
everybody. That is the funky tune called East Bay Stroke from my favorite band in all the land, the Tower of Power. Hey, you guys, welcome back. This is Jackie Bertoni and Jackie's Groove, brought to you by the Intertalk Radio Network. We're your music insider. And hey, guys, do yourselves a favor and make it convenient for yourself and us. Go on to Apple and iTunes and also Google Play for Android and download our easy-to-use Navigate application. 2 words, Intertalk the first, Radio second, so you can take us on the go no matter where you go. So with that said, you guys, welcome back with open arms and open ears to my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi. David, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Hey, man. So I got to ask you a question, David. When was it? Think back for a second. How old were you when you first picked up your first pair of drumsticks, and were drums your first choice of instrument?
I was 10 years old. My first choice was trumpet. But
Really?
there were no trumpets left, so they gave me a violin, and so that I hated. So I stopped for a little bit. That was when I was 8. And then when 10 years old, I just, for some reason, drums came into my head and started playing drums then.
You knew right away that was, were you the typical kid that walked around beating pots of pans and driving the parents crazy?
Well, yes and no. I was also into sports. I did a lot of sports, so there was always that going on. So it was always like sports and music. And then as I got older, I, kind of kept the sports on just a fun level. I didn't, and followed, music. I still love sports, but, music became, my first love,
David, any brothers or sisters?
Brother. One brother. 2 years
Musician?
younger. No. He's, entrepreneurial sort of type, successful businessman type.
And how about children-wise? I know the story, but you want to talk about your girl?
I have a daughter named Lisa Marie. She lives in Los Angeles, doing well. I have a son also who is here at home still. And he's
is he playing at all?
11. No, basketball.
Real? Okay. Very, very cool. Very
He's
cool.
into basketball. He's like loves basketball. So
does he get what Dad does?
Yeah.
Very cool. That's the main thing. You've been with Tower. I think it's been it's been 30. Let's see. You joined in 72, 70 actually.
I joined Tower in 1970.
Wow. And there was a small
kind of was kind of in and out a few times. One time I was out of the band for like 18 years.
Yeah, I know. That was that was the story I heard from a while back from Mimi, where he was getting ready to bring another drummer on, but he couldn't do it, and they were heading for Japan, so he called you to come in and sub the gig, and you never left it from there on out. Correct me if I'm wrong, or tell me the story.
Well, that's not quite it. Herman was playing at that time, Herman Matthews.
Right.
And I had gone to see the band at the Fillmore in San Francisco. I knew Jeff, the guitar player, and so he invited me to come and hang out. And so I went over to the show and loved it. And of course, saw everybody, and everybody was kind of together, which I hadn't really seen in a long time. Everybody's friendly. There was no dope, no craziness.
Right.
It was just a great thing, So right after that, I got a call from Mimi. They were going to make Herman had decided to leave, and so they asked if I would be interested in coming back, and they'd never asked that before. So, of course, I said yeah, and we started rehearsing. And our first gig was going to be in Japan, and then for whatever reason, that was moved to a different time of the year. So I just started doing gigs with the band, and we just working like we usually do, just kind of getting back into things, and it just went there.
Being away for 18 years, I mean, was it like riding a bicycle? Did you just jump back into where it was, other than some of the new tunes that were available?
Pretty much. I mean, the band kind of fits me perfectly. We sort of came up with a way to do our music together, so Emilio and I, Rocco, Doc, original guys, we understand each other really well.
Of course.
Like family, and so it was just kind of a matter of just getting back into things. It took me about 6 months to get completely comfortable. But, once everything kind of fell back into place, it was, we were rolling. It was
like
good.
home, like being back home again. It's amazing as we get older and as we are older, and how the industry's changed in such dramatic ways, where no one's selling albums anymore, and we have to go out there and we have to promote and we have to travel. I'm amazed that most of the guys, I'm 56 years old, and a lot of the guys in the band are at least 7 to 10 years my senior. And what blows me out of the water is the tenacity that you guys have. Being on the road for over 200 days out of the year, this is going to be like a walk in the park or sleepwalking for you. How do you feel about all those days out? Are you thankful?
Of course I'm thankful. It's, I have a gig. And a nice one, with a bunch of great people, great music. It's still rolling along really well.
Absolutely.
Thankful every day for that. It's like everything else. You get tired.
Of course.
But, hey.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm doing what I love to do. I have absolutely nothing to say other than thank you, Lord.
Yeah, be blessed. And speaking of, as we said, getting older, what type of preparation does David find himself doing before a gig in the way of warming up and such?
Well, I have, different things that I do. Mostly it's just move your hands. I got a practice pad that I have with me all the time. I spend, half hour, 45 minutes, usually before a show, just moving my hands. Rudiments, different little exercises I do, just movement, and by the time we go on stage, I'm, nice and loose and ready to go.
I have an email right now. One of the listeners is asking, David, your configuration of your drum set looks like it's expanded over the years. Are you still using a right-handed hi-hat?
I am. I started using the two hi-hats, I don't know, 30 years ago or something.
What was the reason for that?
Long time ago. It just seemed more comfortable. It just opened my hands up. I didn't have to cross my hands. So it just became part of my setup,
And also, too, somebody had asked in another email, the apparatus that is attached to your bass your bass kit, bass drum, what is that? ?
That's called Sub Kick. Yamaha makes it. It's kind of an all, prettied up version of the studio trick of amplifying the sub frequency of your bass drum so that you get, all that low end. So basically that's all it does, is it amplifies the sub frequency only.
It just adds to that bottom end. That's ridiculous. And also,
you get a nice fat bass drum sound. And so, there's two mics in the bass drum, one for the drum itself, and then one, that's the sub kick.
Another question, David, from a listener, and wants to know, has David Garibaldi ever used a double kick pedal?
I have one at home that I practice with, but I don't. That's just never part of my concept. I never was interested in the double bass drum, double bass thing, you know. I appreciate guys that do it, and I think it's cool, but I just never saw it. It never fit kind of with my conception of what I was doing, you know.
David, hold that thought. We're going to be blowing out of 3, going into 4. Many more emails coming up. I'm going to actually be inundated by it. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Some great information, some great stories coming up with my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi from the iconic R&B group Tower of Power. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio Network. You don't go anywhere. It's only going to get better.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear. Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Another great song, man. Can't You See by Tower of Power. Hey, guys, welcome back. This is Jackie Bertoni, and this is Jackie's Groove. And it's segment number 4 with my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi. Before we move on, I just want to take a couple seconds here to thank all of our sponsors for keeping this crazy ship afloat. Our dear friends over at Pitbull Audio, Calvin Lee and the crew at pitbullaudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. And some I'm sure David is very familiar with, as all of my guests have been. Studio Instrument Rentals. You can reach them at sir-usa.com for all of your backline and rehearsal studio needs. And also people that I'm a little bit biased to. My drumstick company for 20 years, Vader Percussion, vader.com. And also our two newest sponsors, and we love them with the deepest way possible and deepest part of our heart. My guys, LP Music Group. LP, I'm going on my 27th year with these people. They're the ones that provide all of my congas, all my percussion rig, and also our newest sponsor, DW Drums and Drum Workshop, Mr. Don Lombardi, Mr. John Good. Guys, thank you for believing in us as we believe in you. And so with that said, we're going to get back into the conversation with Mr. David Garibaldi. David, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, David, you've inspired people all over the world, a lot of musicians itself. Let's talk about where your inspirations came from. Where did that funk groove come from? What inspired you that made that your mainstay?
I came up in the jazz tradition. I mean, when I was growing up, kind of that's how people, kind of got musical credibility was, being jazz musicians.
Right.
That's what there was to do. And then, the rock revolution started happening. People started changing. All the young guys, we started playing different kinds of music and getting out of just playing jazz. But, all of my friends, they were all jazz musicians, came up that way. Then, of course, I was all, into all the new music of the day and all that stuff. And
right.
Then I went to see James Brown, and it completely blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that before. And, I just knew that was the kind of music that I wanted to play. So I just sort of channeled everything that I was learning into that, that framework.
Right.
So, joining Tower was, for me, like being in the James Brown band, but also being in a big band, which I loved, playing, big band jazz, that kind of stuff. So I just play Tower just like I would play in a big band, except that there's 8th notes and 16th notes.
And speaking of different, groups and such, David, what was the timeline that you joined, and how did you get involved with Gino Vanelli?
Gino Vanelli I met Gino through some guys at Yamaha who were taking care of his keyboards. And so Gino and Joe's brother, invited me over to Joe's house where they had a recording studio. They were working on Black Cars.
Right.
That was recording mid-'80s. And so I go over to the house, and everything's real nice, Italian guys. I mean, you get the nice coffee and dessert and all this stuff, and we're hanging out, talking, and Gino says, let's go upstairs. I want to hear you play. Okay. So we went upstairs, and there was a drum set and 2 chairs sitting in front of the drums.
Right.
And so I sat down and played, and Gino and Joe sat in the chairs in front of me and asked me to play. They said, play this, play that. So they liked it, and Gino called me the next day and hired me to play on his recording, and then I did a whole bunch of stuff with him after that, and we've remained friends since then. Joe is one of the great engineers, in this business. He's working on he's co-producing our new recording project. Fabulous.
I hear you have a plethora of songs that you guys have already completed on that.
We recorded 28 songs. Not completely done yet, but
Right.
close. And it's pretty good. I mean, a lot of good stuff, all kinds of different styles of stuff. Original music, all good stuff. Really
and
great
David,
performances, great arrangements.
are you bringing any outside writers, or are you guys keeping it all in house?
There's some outside writers. Some outside writers. We did some rhythm section inspired stuff. Some jams that we turn into songs, which are really cool. Pretty, sideways sounding grooves. Great arrangements. Dave Eskridge from San Antonio, Texas. He's our kind of house arranger. Fabulous guy, very talented guy, and so it's like that.
When you go into the studio, David, what is your process itself? Are you playing a full size kit as you would on stage, or do you kind of just break it down to what you need for that session?
It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same as my live kit. Maybe I'll leave off the second snare drum. But, the basic part of the kit is the same.
And being using the term one of the founding members, one of the original boys in the band, when you're in the studio, especially in today's studio life itself, playing live, do you have the wherewithal to do what you want, or is there anything charted for you when you walk in there? Are you doing this off the top of your head, or based upon what Mimi's looking for, or the writer on that song?
Well, it's if you're doing somebody else's song, you're kind of giving them what they're asking for,
Right.
and whatever that may be. Now, that being said, we kind of are building the music. Our input is important to the way the songs sound. It's not coming from one guy's brain,
Right.
It's a collective sort of approach. And so that's kind of how we do it. We get in the studio, and if we haven't rehearsed, then we just kind of start throwing ideas out there. And pretty soon, things start to take shape. We do a combination usually of live, rhythm section tracks, or we'll start with just the drums.
Very cool.
So when we start with just the drums, we will have rehearsed the song, right? So we have a basic idea of what the song is, and then I always make myself, my own charts,
Right.
so that I have, everything kind of plotted out where I want everything to go. And so I, play the form of the song, the fills, and all of that stuff.
David, hold that thought for a second, bro. I'm going to interrupt you here. I hate to do it. That music's in the background, which means we're going to step out of 4 into 5. David, it's going by really, really quick, and I'm sure you're having a good time. I know I'm having a great time. So with that said, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a little bit of an elongated break between 4 and 5 to regroup our computers here. When we get back, we're going to pick up where we left off with my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi. Don't go anywhere.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on InterTalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on InterTalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Oakland Stroke by the Tower of Power. Everybody, welcome back. It's a segment number 5. This is Jackie Bertoni and Jackie's Groove, brought to you by InterTalk Radio. We are the Music Insider. Hey, guys, you know what? Our strength and our numbers that are building by leaps and bounds is because of guests like I have on the air today with me. You guys, please welcome back amazing drummer, and more importantly, a beautiful man, my good friend, Mr. David Garibaldi. Welcome back, David.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, when we left off, we were talking about the aesthetics and what you do in the studio. You know, that's how I've been making my living over the past 10 years or so. I've been a studio guy, so I know what it takes for me to go in and do my thing. But when you get in there and you put your cans on and you're getting ready to record, what is on that track for you? Are you playing to a click at all or no?
Sometimes. Probably half of what we do is without a click, and then the other half with. It depends on kind of, how the process goes. If we're using the full rhythm section, sometimes there's no click. Sometimes there is. If it's just me, then I'm playing to kind of a little demo, or keyboard part, something.
That's very cool, man.
But,
it's just
pretty simple.
Yeah, I guess less is more in this case. It's a long and it's an arduous process. Putting it down. I know when I get done recording someone's album, I don't want to hear the music until it's actually been produced and I can read the liner notes itself. Obviously it's not the things that you put down that they don't like. If they don't like it, obviously it doesn't make the album. Are there things that you record and over the years that you've listened back to that you thought, maybe I should have put this on? Or are you pretty much happy the way it was mastered?
Well, I mean, I always, hindsight is always 20/20.
Of course.
I don't think like that. I mean, I kind of just do it, move on to the next thing. Sometimes I listen, but often I just let it go. I don't listen, of course, when we're building the tracks, that's when, I'm speaking up. But after it's done and it's out and it's, no, done. I don't, then if I listen to it, maybe there's been a couple of things I listened to, I'll say, man, what was I thinking there? But hey, it's all part of the evolution of things, and it's all right.
And I want to thank you, David. I mean, again, we go back to 1978, and I had, I was born and raised a wonderful little Roman Catholic boy, an altar boy from St. Gregory the Great. But you actually introduced me to the deepest part of the Bible on a meetings that we used to go to at your place in the Valley, a great organization that you used to put together called the Power for Abundant Living. I think you remember that, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And, it really got my head straight and so on. And as you said earlier, back in Tower, where everybody's clean, I mean, I look back and I look at my mentor, Emilio, and to know that this man is a touch man of God now, as opposed to also my CEO, Florentino, everything that is in Florentino's life is driven by God, and myself also. That's still a major part of your life, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. I've seen too much evidence to support, that there's a God, and that God is interested in your well-being and your daily life. So yeah, it's a big part of the way that I think. The kind of the central part of my life. It gives me a lot of stability, a lot of. A lot of peace.
Yeah. Again, that was a good question because, how has faith influenced your music and your business practices? I guess you just kind of answered that.
Well, it's, again, a personal, sort of journey. It's helped me tremendously. There was a point, in life where all I knew were people that were drug dealers and some kind of, gangster, criminal, element. It was just weird, so I didn't know anybody that wasn't like that. So that's when I kind of thought, well, man, I got to change this. And I met some Christian people. They were real cool and it helped me a lot and sort of got me centered,
Right. You still in contact with those people?
Some of them.
Cool.
But, my journey is my journey. I mean, it's, I believe God for the best things to happen in my life and live in a loving way with people, help my friends, try to be a positive, influence wherever I am. Be part of a solution instead of a part of a problem.
Of course.
Like that.
Let me jump in and say, what you say about helping people, David. Think for a second here. Who were some of the players that musicians that you want to point out that made a difference in the business that may have not been received or notarized that should have been there? Anybody out there that you want to point out and give a thumbs up to?
Well, be more specific. Exactly what do you mean?
Well, I meant like let's say there's some great players out there that you love as players itself that basically are unsung, that deserve more praise than they've gotten so far in their careers.
Well, there's a bunch of those guys. I mean,
right.
Everybody knows those guys. I sort of think. I mean, I don't want to sound negative or anything, but I sort of think you get what you believe for. You know, if things come up short for you in your life, I think has a lot to do with kind of where you place your priorities and things, you know, in terms of maybe not reaching a particular goal that you wanted to reach or whatever. You know, I'm not going to name any names, but, you know, there's people out there who I really respect who are just fabulous people and great family men and, you know, great musicians. You know, they're just like, they just love what they do, man. They love playing. They're just like me, you know. One guy in particular I talk to and communicate with all the time. I mean, nobody knows who he is. He's in the trenches, man. He's just a player. He's an awesome person, great teacher, great perspective on life and on music, you know. But, yeah, there's guys out there like that, sure. Doesn't make what they, you know, do any less valid than what I'm doing.
Right. You know, and David, let me ask you a question. Of all the people and the plethora of people that you've played for, does David have a bucket list?
You know, maybe people will think this is kind of stupid, but I'm playing with who I want to play with.
Not stupid at all, brother. Not stupid at all.
I mean, I honestly, I have respect for so many people. I mean, you know, but as far as like a bucket list of who I wanted to play with or anything like that, I never was there. I never, you know, my whole thing was I wanted to be in Tower.
Very cool.
You know, that's what my focus has been. You know, it's my musical home. I love the guys in it, what we do. And I never wanted to do anything else. You know, the only reason I did other things is because everybody was so loaded.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was so incoherent and just kind of losing sight of who they were, you know, what we had as a group, you know, as a collective, you know, that was very disappointing for a long time. But even though I was out of it, I still considered myself part of it, you know, and I always looked at people that were in it, even the drummers who were in it, as they were only there for a short time. They were in it temporarily because I was going to be back someday. I just knew it.
Crazy.
And that's not to take away from the greatness of those men who were there and the contribution that they made to the band, you know, which is awesome, you know. But I just always felt like it was my spot. You know, we made the stuff up together, and, you know,
it works, brother.
Knew someday I was going to be there. That was a short list.
Let's pick up that list, and as short as it is, or maybe elongated. When we come back on segment number 6 with my in-studio guest, legendary drummer from the Tower of Power, just a great guy all the way around, Mr. David Garibaldi. Guys, stay tuned. Go get yourself a drink. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page, mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, how deep is that groove? I mean, come on. Again, like I said before, you got to get louder to get out of that. Hey, guys, I'm welcoming my good friend of mine, David Garibaldi, the iconic drummer for the legendary rock and soul, funk, R&B, all around, just a badass band, for the lack of a better word, Tower of Power. Hey, guys, do yourselves a favor also, too, if you'd be so kind to log on to intertalkradio.com and look at the plethora of shows that we have online for gearheads, for girls in the rock business, and the current show called Vinyl Night from my dear friend J.R. Robinson, talking about the aesthetics of recording in the studio and being the most recorded drummer in the history of music. So do yourselves a favor and check that out and patronize our company. We'd highly appreciate it. So with that said, back with Mr. David Garibaldi. David, I have a question for you, and I was thinking about this on the break. You know, you mentioned being around some people in the business that I would like to call them suspect people. How do you avoid the trappings and temptations and pressures of these people that can be somewhat scandalous?
I guess you just have to know what know what you're about. I mean, if you know what you're about, you have a sense of self. Just kind of know what your values are.
Right,
live according to your values, man. You know, that's it. It's choice. It's choices that people make.
It doesn't get any more real than that. And also, too, just being thankful of being gainfully employed and being thankful of where you're at. But let me ask you this question personally. What are your thoughts about some of our contemporaries that have to find other forms of making money, in this dynamic change of the music business? It's, in my personal opinion, it's sad that we are having to force or something to fall back onto because of the industry the way it is. Do you feel that this industry, in your personal opinion, since you've been in for so long, do you feel it's ever going to come back to the way of the heyday that it was?
I don't know that there ever was a heyday, man. I mean, this is just my opinion, but this is like the age-old problem of, supporting yourself with art. What we do is art, no more, no less.
Right.
And if you're fortunate enough to be able to support yourself, with your art, God bless you. But, really, it's there's no guarantees that you're going to be able to do that. And sometimes with people, when they attach a paycheck to their art, it puts a lot of pressure on them. Not everyone thinks that way, all the guys that I know that have been playing music for a long time and have been doing it, exclusively for a long time, they're not afraid of that, the pressure of feeding themselves and their families with their art was not, didn't keep them from doing what they wanted to do, So as far as like a heyday, yes, there was a lot of great things going on here in the Bay Area in the early 70s, a lot of music, a lot of opportunity, that kind of stuff, But, again, the cream always rises to the top, You,
of course,
have people who are going to be more successful than others, and generally a lot of that comes from people who are, like more focused than the next guy. The people with the most focus are the ones usually who figure out ways to keep themselves going in the direction that they want and don't get distracted by pressures of life and, that kind of stuff, Every age, every generation has, what they think is kind of, how could you say, there's places where you can go where there's more music happening than other places. And it just so happened when I grew up, the San Francisco Bay Area was the place. Everybody wanted to come here. Everybody wanted to do what we had the good fortune to do here. I mean, there was a social revolution going on too. So a lot of that had impact in, the music industry and art, It was just a wonderful time. But,
and with that said, David, but do you have any advice for the young cats that are coming up that want to, have a future in this business? Anything that you want to kind of lend out, stuff that you've learned and failed or learned and gained from?
Yeah, be yourself. If you're going to play, if you're going to be in music, have a plan. I meet people all the time, young guys, man, who have a plan. I meet young guys who don't have a plan. Right. And it's the same as it's always been. If you have a plan and you stick to it, you're going to be successful. If you don't have a plan, that's what you're going to get. Nothing. So you have to have a story. You got to make us, you got to have a kind of a course that you plan for yourself. And then go get it. Go do it.
Do you feel that on the course that you're putting or the plan that you have ahead of you, to put within reason and not to be overboard so that you don't feel like a failure if you haven't reached that ultimate goal that you set for yourself? Or is it okay to step back until you get it right?
Well, you have to look at what you want as a long-term, as a project.
Right.
If you don't have that sort of mentality, then you get tired. You get discouraged. You have to be focused and not be afraid.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. David, I know you as a humble cat, and the most humble guys in the world, they have a hard time talking about themselves. But I want to find out, because a lot of listeners want to know, let's talk about what your talent has brought you you want to share with us and the listeners out there your awards and achievements that you've accrued over these years?
Well, the story's still being written, man. I mean, I appreciate accolades and what people say and, all that sort of stuff, but I'm not in it for that. I mean, I'm in it because I really dig playing in a band. That's why I do this. And there have been some really great things that have happened as a result. But again, you work hard, you dedicate yourself to something and stay at it and keep growing. And keep doing it to the best of your ability, and have a view of toward excellence. And pretty soon, stuff starts to happen. So that's all I'm going to say.
That's perfect, man. I mean that's in a nutshell. And a lot of these questions posed to you. I mean, are you still doing a lot of clinics, David, at all, or no?
I stopped doing clinics for a while because there was just too much stuff going on. I mean, I was never home, So I'm going to start doing clinics again this year. I have 2 trips to China that I'm going to do this year, doing drum stuff, and probably a clinic tour for Yamaha drums. I do private teaching. I started doing some private teaching a couple times a month at a drum shop close to my house here. And, I'm back doing those kind of things. But, over the years, I've done hundreds of clinics and drum events and taught hundreds of students and, that kind of stuff, So it's a big part of what I do, yes.
David, I'm sitting here laughing right now. I just received a text just now from Liberty DeVito. And he says, hey, tell David he's not welcome into the club because he still has hair on top of his head. But the fact of the matter is he can still be part and be proud to be in a dumb Italian. So he says, tell him I send my love, man, and I'm sorry, but he's in the middle of a gig right now and he can't take a break. So, so that's a message.
So he doesn't have to answer. He doesn't have to answer you that.
I love it. Cool. I love it, man. He said, let's stay in touch. He goes, if you wouldn't mind sending me his information. I said, I will do so as long as I have your permission to do so. Yeah, and I will do. So that said, hey man, David, this is great, man. I got it. We got 2 more segments to go. I thank you so much, man. I mean, again, not only you're a friend, but I'm a fan of yours through and throughout. I've always have been. You taught me some great things over the years about right and left-hand independence that I constantly tell students and younger guys also. I'll get more involved in that when we get back on segment number 7. So, you guys, 2 more segments to go through. It's going to blast by. I just can't tell you how thankful I am to have Mr. David Garibaldi on my show today. So you guys don't go anywhere. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio Network. Coming up on segment number 7, don't go anywhere. More to learn, more to be blessed about. Stay tuned.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page, mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Soul vaccination all across the nation. People stepping from getting funky pox. Guys, you know what? We're heard all around the world, and that music you just heard, a song called Soul Vaccination, penned by the amazing group called Tower of Power, and the drum funky groove, it was supplied by my in-studio guest today, Mr. David Garibaldi. Hey, David, welcome back. You know, let me ask you a question. We started out the segment number one. I don't know if I was willing to learn. It was a ballad from Tower. Maybe my control room can pop their 2 cents in. But there was a rumor over the years that song actually had your kick pedal that was squeaking. Is that a true situation during that recording?
That's on. That was just when we start making it. This thing that you opened with.
Yes.
And I had this Ludwig snare drum stand that had a squeak in it, and every time, and I was playing like the cross stick, and every time that I'd hit the cross stick, it would generate the squeak that came from the snare stand. You can hear it on the track, and so we got a good take. And that was on there, and we said, well, whatever.
You know what? I had to bring that up because I just heard that a little while ago. And, it's funny because when you go, I love to watch movies, and you see, one scene where the car's been dented, and the next scene it's not dented, just because editing didn't get it right. I love it. There's an album years ago that you weren't on. I think it was Ronnie Beck was playing drums, and it was a song called Doing All Right, and Michael Jeffries is on vocals, but at the break, you hear Mick Gillette come in, and he does a small hit on the trumpet, and they left it on there also. And there's certain things that, I mean, not the fact that I obsess about Tower of Power, but I do. And there's certain things that I hear that always cracks me up, and you're talking about, I don't want to use the word obsessed, but inspired, but the CEO of our corporation, you spoke to earlier, Florentino Buenaventura, he's a Sacramento boy. You guys got some friends in common. So I'm going to bring him on. He's got a couple questions he wants to ask. He's been bothering me on messaging. So with that said, David, do me a favor, say hi to Tino. Tino, say hi to David, please.
Hey, David, what's going on, man?
Gino, good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, good to catch up with you. It's been a long time, right, since we started the show off. I've been completely inspired and enthralled with the. It's hard for me to do my show. I mean, do the work I'm doing. Our production guy, Paul Berezeski, give a shout out to Paul. He is touring the country doing stuff. He was just with JR over at the Gear Fest with Sweetwater, and I just got back from NAMM, and it's just the business is, some of it's receding and some of it's growing. So your statements about staying true to yourself, I think, is more relevant today than ever, because in this industry, you got to do it yourself, so you have to be yourself. And for me, and what you're talking about. And then, of course, the spiritual elements of everything that you mentioned. It's why I got into the business and why we started this network, because this network's about spotlighting, the players that didn't get the recognition, may not be the names on the marquee, but they're the people who have defined the sounds. And so all of that's been inspiring to me, man. I really appreciate it. So first off, I want to say thank you for coming on the network, and it's a big honor. And, also a big shout out to somebody we were talking about, Bobby G. I don't know if he's listening right now, but Bobby and I go way back to kindergarten. You guys had your own project for a little while. Is that right?
Well, we did some recording with a bass player named Raymond McKinley.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, Raymond plays bass with Sheila E., and he's like kind of a super... band member. He works with us. He was Rocco's sub when Rocco got sick. Right. He's our tour manager right now. He's mixed us front of the house. He's done monitors. He's recorded us in the studio. He's moved the gear. So that's where we met. Bobby G was on that recording.
Yeah, and he's an incredible talent. Like you mentioned earlier, he's an amazing guitar player. And it's funny how you meet these guys throughout your history, and you just go, man, that guy he's got that special something that's going to make it. And, we were all kind of in our school, little school in Sacramento, California, really proud of him doing that. And obviously for yourself, did you find yourself growing up with a lot of the players that, did you see that the players that you started off with early on grew up with you in the business?
Not really. I was came from a small community. I was the only one in my school, really, that was interested, in music. The only one in class, really, who was interested in it more than just being in the school band. I started playing gigs when I was a senior in high school, and just, kept going, But nobody I grew up with they was into music like I was. Yeah,
keeping it as a career. It's such a crazy business now, man. I mean, you guys were touching on it a little bit. What do do you find yourself kind of gravitating to this new media model of social media, putting yourself out there? I find it kind of awkward myself. I have to do it because that's what the company requires us to do. The industry requires us to do that for the company. But I'm probably much like yourself. I would really not like to jump up and down about what I'm doing. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you deal with it is the right way to say it. I mean, it's the way that things are done right now. And so, it's just part of the evolution of things. I mean, every era has its way of doing things, and social media now is a big part of what's happening. I mean, you can be a star of YouTube and, not have any recording experience or anything like that. That's just the way that it is. I mean, who's to say that it's bad or good? It's what it is. And so you just embrace it, you accept it. It's just part of it, man. it's it's art, and it's going to be in all sorts of expressed in all sorts of different ways, all sorts of different mediums. I think you just have to go with the flow, man. I mean, if you're not in the flow of what's going on, then pretty much you don't go anywhere. That's how it goes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I know Jackie, I mean, Jackie's been really instrumental for us here at the network, and he really is great at his social media interactions. I mean, he's, he shows love to people and vice versa. What's your thoughts, Jackie?
Well, it's like, again, I'm just looking at the plethora of great, like we always made a joke out of Jackie's Groove, calling it Drummer's Paradise. But the fact is, I mean, I've been blessed, again, with the Danny Seraphins and the Kenny Ornoffs coming up, and and Tristan Bowden last week, and they all send the love to David. I mean, David, you don't know the inspiration that you've been to these guys who are the yo-cats in the industry itself. I mean, they've always, emulated, they've always kind of like fell back and just and stole your chops, and what you've developed. Like I said earlier, you taught me years ago about being equally prowess on both the left and right hand, independence. And that has led me through, because, through my diagnosis with MS over the years, my right side is a little bit weaker than my left side. My right was the prominent of the shakers. But thankfully, because of what you taught me over the years to be diligent on keeping both right and left equal, is how I was able to transition over to have my strong left arm to be the dominant now. So I thank you on that too. You have to make amends as we get older. And as long as God gives me the blessings to keep playing, I will do so. And again, I take what you taught me, to the heart, and I'm thankful for that. So, you just being in the meld of all these great players out there, you're just one more click on my roster, having the greatest and the yo-cat in my industry. And I thank you immensely for that. David, I have to ask you a question also. With relation to the music and all these years with Tower and so on, with the songs that inspired you with Tower Power, are there songs that you really, really, really love to play? And not just all of them, but is there a song that really puts a smile on your face when you're playing it live?
We do Can't You See? There's a few shows. We throw that in and that was always, it just has a sound. I mean, it's just an up kind of thing, it's really kind of a good vibe. Also, all the ballads. We do a whole bunch of ballads. We rotate ballads in and out of the set each night. We do Willing to Learn. We do Just When We Start Making It, Surely As I Stand Here, Time Will Tell. So we do, kind of like every night we kind of rotate to the next one. And those are really fun to play because they really show the musicality of the band, kind of shows off the band's musicianship. We're not hammering out some funk beats and all that. It's just cool music, and the all those ballads, they turn into like performance tunes.
David, stay tuned. We're going out of 7 to 8. I'm going to pick this up because I want to find out what inspires you. Guys, don't go anywhere. Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove with David Garibaldi.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Sometimes hipness is what it ain't. Everybody, welcome back. You know what's hip today? Hip today is my in-studio guest, Mr. David Garibaldi. I mean, what else can you say about this blessed brother, man, this humble cat that is like an inspiration to most. He's always been my favorite drummer. And, David, I want to ask you a question here. Do you miss playing with percussion with Brent or anybody else like that?
Well,
meaning they were so percussive driven, like on the beginning of Can't You See, when it starts out with the conga intro. It was
great. It was great having them there. We just, at one point, we just kind of felt like it was too much.
Right.
That was our thought, and so we, stopped having a percussionist.
I love the fact too. Is just like of the way your drum set up. I love how you augment cowbell in some of your rhythms itself. I mean, was that an inspiration from the works of with Jesus Diaz and Spiro and such? Or have you always liked that?
It goes way before that. I mean, I always dug Latin music, and so I always was listening to folkloric music, Afro-Cuban stuff,
right.
Salsa, all that. So I was always into that and loved it, and the vibe and Brazilian music and all that stuff. So it just kind of influenced the way that I approached playing. So I always kind of like to have an element of that in what I'm doing. It's just cool. It just takes things to a different level,
Agreed. And speaking of a different level, I just got a little text a little while ago from Al DiMiola. Al's a good friend of mine, and we've also sponsored his Electric 2016 tour, the Elegant Gypsy Meets the Romantic Warrior. He just typed to me just now. He was listening. He says, bro, let Garibaldi know that I think he's an amazing drummer. There will be nobody like him ever again. It's good to have him alive and on our soil. So that was from, that's very, very cool. I mean, if you had a chance. In fact, he's going to be, I think, up in your neck of the woods. He's up in Napa, I think, this weekend. And I don't know how close you are to that area. But if you...
we're going out of town. So, unfortunately, and I appreciate that. He's a cool guy. I met him years ago.
Right.
He came to a gig I was doing. I was playing with Denise Williams, and he asked me if I was interested in being in his band. I had a gig at the time, and was busy with it, and wasn't able to. Didn't see myself, leaving it at the time. It was just cool. But he's he has a lot of respect for me. He's a great musician in person.
And he's definitely one of the coolest guys I've known and met, and he's funnier than belief. Hey, talking about Denise Williams, were you on that song called Let's Get Serious with Jermaine Jackson? Was that you on drums on that song?
I don't know. What was the record that the song was on? My Name is Jermaine or something.
Right.
I did a few tracks with him. I don't know what he used. We did a bunch of recording. We did Midnight Special. There may have been one or two other things, but that was kind of like, it was sort of short-lived. It was fun to do, but
it wasn't home.
He went through some management stuff, and next thing you know, all the players are starting to get replaced and leave and all that stuff, and so it was just time for me to go. I appreciate it. I mean, Jermaine's a cool guy. I mean, a great bass player too, man. A lot of people didn't really realize how much of the Jackson stuff he played on. There's Carol Kay too, but Jermaine played on some of it as well. Pretty great player.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother David, I usually have a part of this. Tino, are you still online?
I am, sir. I am,
do your duties and ask, and how do we get a hold of David and stuff, please?
I will. I actually want to make it a two-part because I have one question for our listeners. We have a lot of people trying to figure out how to make it in this business, and one of the things I think is pretty paramount for TOP is that you guys have been relevant for so many years. I wanted to ask you that, and what do you think the secret to that is? And the second is, how can people find out more about you, like your websites, your URLs, your Facebook, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, I have a Facebook presence, Twitter account and all that stuff, and when I'm on the road, I post stuff. I have a Facebook page where I post, stupid little anecdotes and some musical things and that kind of stuff. Tower has a Facebook page. But there's towerpower.com, which is, got all the band stuff if you're interested in checking that out, our tour schedule.
All the show dates, yeah.
Yeah, tour schedule and all that stuff, as far as making it in this business.
And staying together for this many years. That's
amazing.
amazing.
You just have to focus and enjoy what you do. I mean, we like what we do, man. We're like an organism, man. We're with each other all the time. We stick together through thick, thin, up and down.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Just like a marriage.
Right.
And you don't give up. I mean, most young guys, that have bands, they get in stupid fights, or they'll start arguing about who's right, or arguing about the grooves or the time. They'll not like what, another person does. And it's so petty. I mean, if you're going to do this, stay together.
Right.
Make a commitment. Have some commitment. And that's really what I think, has helped us and through the years is we just stay together no matter what is going on. We just like what we do.
And David, do you want to give a shout out to your drum company, your stick company, and your cymbal company?
Sure, Yamaha drums. I've been playing the Yamaha drums since 1982. Beautiful equipment. Sabian cymbals. I don't know how long. I've been with them for a long time.
Right.
Vic Firth. Playing Vic sticks since 1972. Remo. Audix mics.
Right.
Live percussion. Companies that I've been with for a very long time. I tend to stay with things. If I like something, I don't see any reason to change it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. David, and also Tina told me to say hi to you, and she always posts some great pictures when she's with you guys. The great selfie picture she put up recently of you guys in the band. So, with that said, I wanted to throw her name in there. David Garibaldi, brother, thank you so much for blessing my show, for blessing the network. I cannot thank you from the bottom of my heart what this means to me and what it means to the network itself. Thank you for your lifetime of friendship. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for you. And with that said, everybody, do yourselves a favor. If you're not educated with David Garibaldi, for the young listeners, get yourself educated, learn it, live it, never forget it. So with that said, David, we send our blessings to you. Everybody say goodbye to Mr. David Garibaldi. David, thank you so much. This is Jackie Bertoni.
Jackie and Tino, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, brother. Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio Network, and I always finish up by saying peace through music. And also, this coming Wednesday, Eddie M. from Sheila E. and Prince on sax will be joining us. Have a blessed day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.